being released out of custody, and bring in senior law enforcement analyst, former acting CBP Commissioner Mark Morgan. He's also a visiting fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Great to have you. And also alongside him, Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland of Terrell County, Texas. He is also a retired Border Patrol agent. Gentlemen, welcome in. We have a new day, the first day post-impeachment here. And we also, at the same time, have a report, Washington Post, saying U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement drafting plans to release thousands of illegal migrants into our country, slashing capacity of housing detainees as they face a $700 million deficit because the border bill, Dems refused to add border security measures, failed to fund ICE. Mark, I think it's twofold. Who are these people? And is this really an issue that could have been prevented? It doesn't seem like any of this was happening under Donald Trump.
Bianca, that's exactly right. That's why I get so frustrated. The lies that are told by this administration is just unconscionable. Look, this president, in the first couple of months, executed over 94 executive orders, which dismantled the network of tools, authorities, and policies we had under President Trump that led to the most secure border in our lifetime. So although there are some loopholes that Congress can fix, the president does not need Congress to act to reverse the damage he did by those executive orders. I'll give you a couple of examples. All he's got to do is reinstate the safe third countries we had with all three Northern Triangle countries, reinstate the Remain in Mexico program, make Secretary Mayorkas actually allow ICE to do their job to remove people here illegally, and start reconstructing the border wall system. If you just did those four things, among many more that could be done, you'd see a reduction of about 85% in illegal immigration overnight, and our borders would be more secure.
Sheriff, bring you in off what Mark just said. The borders right now, right in your backyard, are not secure. There's Chinese nationals, historic pace for that, historic in general. How do you ensure that last night's vote in the House was not just symbolic to impeach Mayorkas, that there's real change for people in our country whose national security is threatened?
You know, Bianca, I'm here to tell you, look, 26 years as a Border Patrol, as you pointed out. The last couple of years as a sheriff, and it has not ever been this bad, meaning the enormous amount of apprehensions we've had here along the southwest border. I don't care if I'm speaking to someone that calls himself red or blue. This last 3 years has been extraordinary. I am glad that they finally got the impeachment pushed through. I hope it makes it through the Senate, because this is a historical time in U.S. history. Look, we've already seen some activities in New York City with a shooting, beating up of law enforcement.
Yes.
This is going to have a long-lasting impact.
It is. And now, again, looking forward, the vote has succeeded. So slim. It failed last week. Amazing that it was that close when we see all the issues on the border. I'm sure it's frustrating to you, Mark, but the Democratic-controlled Senate now is where it lands. We had Congressman Jamie Raskin saying what they've succeeded in doing is degrading and tarnishing the constitutional meaning of impeachment. I'll ask you the same question. How do you make sure last night was just not historic, but actually there's a follow-through, there's real teeth to what the House did?
Well, let's make one thing very clear. The only individual and the only administration that's destroyed the Constitution is the Biden administration. The Constitution is very clear. It's the federal government's responsibility to secure, protect, and defend our borders against all threats coming in from outside of those borders. This administration and Secretary Mayorkas has failed to uphold their constitutional responsibility to do just that, number one. Number two, this is very important. This is both a moral and a substantive victory that Secretary Mayorkas was impeached. This is a man from day one that came in. This is not about a policy difference. This is not about incompetence. This is a man that came in and willfully and intentionally refused to enforce the law, violated the law, and actually rewrote law to adhere to what he thinks it should be. And, of course, he's lied to the American people in Congress. This is exactly what the framers meant that impeachment should be used for, and I'm glad that they did it. I don't think the Senate is going to do it, but I hope that as we get near the 2024 election, that they're going to be held accountable for not holding public officials accountable for destroying this country.
Final 20 seconds, and well stated there, Mark. We have Governor Abbott, though, and he does want to uphold the Constitution if this administration does not. Your final thoughts, sir? Sheriff.
I'll jump on that one. I'll tell you what, whether I was a U.S. Border Patrol agent or now the county sheriff, I'll tell you what Governor Abbott has done here in the state of Texas through funding Operation Lone Star, and then the actual, force on the ground with DPS
Yes.
troopers, Texas Parks and Highways, Texas Parks and Wildlife, game wardens, a tremendous amount of work going on here in the state of Texas. Fully support everything that he's done for us.
Fight continues there with the state, and he's fighting the DOJ. Incredible times we're living in. Sheriff Cleveland, Mark Morgan, appreciate you both today.